You're convinced you know what you want from every situation: the promotion, the apology, the perfect vacation. But what if that certainty is exactly what keeps you from getting what would actually make you happy? Here's what we're not usually willing to see. We don't actually perceive our own best interests in any situation because our perception is fundamentally wrong. We layer multiple conflicting goals onto every scenario, guaranteeing disappointment no matter how things turn out. And this confusion prevents us from learning what would truly serve us. Think about it. Your mind operates like a restaurant customer who orders 5 different entrees, each from a different cuisine, then gets frustrated when the meal doesn't taste right. You're making so many conflicting demands on every situation that disappointment is built into the order before it even arrives. Let me paint you a picture you've lived through. You're waiting for your boss to respond to an important email. As you refresh your inbox, notice what's actually happening in your mind. Part of you wants praise for your initiative. You worked hard on that proposal, stayed late perfecting it. Another part wants to avoid any criticism. Maybe they'll find that one weak section you're worried about. Part of you hopes this leads to a promotion, finally, the recognition you deserve. Yet another part fears more responsibility. Are you really ready for the next level? And underneath it all, part of you just wants acknowledgement, to be seen, to matter. Your shoulders are tight. Your jaw is clenched. Every time a new email arrives that isn't the one, your stomach drops a little. You're not just waiting for an email. You're waiting for 5 different restaurants to deliver 5 incompatible meals. When the response finally comes, let's say it's positive, something feels off. The boss likes your ideas, wants to move forward, even mentions your good work. But instead of satisfaction, there's this strange emptiness. Why? Because no single response could satisfy all those hidden, contradictory expectations you didn't even realize you were carrying. They praised your work, but not effusively enough for the part of you wanting validation. They want to move forward, which triggers the part fearing more responsibility. They didn't mention the promotion, disappointing those hopes. They also didn't criticize, leaving the anxious part still bracing for impact. You got a good response, but it doesn't match any of the 5 meals you ordered. So even in success, there's this nagging sense of dissatisfaction. The food arrived, but it doesn't taste right. This is happening all the time, in every situation. Think about the last conversation with your partner. Part of you wanted connection, part wanted to be right, part wanted to avoid conflict, part wanted them to change, part wanted things to stay safe and predictable. 5 different orders, 1 conversation. No wonder it felt unsatisfying. Or consider your last vacation. Part of you wanted adventure, part wanted rest, part wanted to look good on social media, part wanted to save money, part wanted to splurge. You're standing at a beautiful viewpoint, but you can't fully enjoy it because you're simultaneously thinking about the expense, wondering if the photo captures it right, feeling guilty about not hiking the harder trail, and wishing you could just relax at the hotel. The restaurant metaphor gets clearer now. You're not just ordering different entrees, you're ordering Thai curry, Italian pasta, French pastries, Mexican tacos, and Japanese sushi, then wondering why your meal lacks coherence. Every situation becomes a disappointing fusion restaurant of your own making. But here's where something shifts. When you recognize that your mind is constantly making contradictory demands on reality, you stop fighting so hard to control outcomes and become genuinely curious about what might actually work. It's like finally seeing the menu you've been ordering from. Oh, that's why nothing tastes right. I keep asking for incompatible things. That's why satisfaction feels so elusive. I've guaranteed my own disappointment before anything even happens. There's unexpected relief in this recognition. You don't have to figure out how to want the right thing. You don't have to untangle which desire is the true one. You just have to see that you're doing this, placing impossible orders, then blaming the restaurant when the meal arrives. What if you could approach situations without the hidden agenda, not by forcing yourself to want less, but by recognizing the comedy of errors playing out in your mind? That next interaction, that next decision, that next moment, what if you could meet it without pre-ordering 5 conflicting outcomes? The email from your boss arrives. This time, you notice the part wanting praise, the part fearing criticism, the part hoping for promotion, all of them placing their orders. You see it happening. And in that seeing, something loosens. You read the email for what it actually says, not through the lens of 5 different appetites. The response becomes interesting rather than disappointing. You're curious about what's actually being communicated rather than measuring it against your invisible menu of demands. The tight shoulders soften. The clenched jaw releases. You might even laugh at how complicated you've been making everything. This isn't about wanting less from life. It's about recognizing that you've been wanting contradictory things simultaneously, guaranteeing your own frustration. Once you see the pattern, you can't quite take it as seriously. The next time you're waiting for something, a text, a decision, a change, you might notice all the different meals you're trying to order. And in that noticing, a space opens. A space where something genuine might actually occur. What would it be like to let situations unfold without the impossible menu? To discover what might satisfy you when you're not busy pre-ordering disappointment? The answer might surprise you. It usually does when we stop insisting we already know what we want. If this felt grounding, you're welcome to like the video and subscribe. No rush. Just a gentle way to stay connected as we continue. Let yourself settle into this moment. Allow your body to find its comfort, whether sitting or lying down. There's nothing to achieve here, nothing to figure out. Notice your breathing, not to change it, just to notice it. Each breath arriving and leaving on its own schedule. Feel the weight of your body being held. The chair, the floor, the bed, supporting you without effort. You don't have to hold yourself up right now. Bring to mind a situation you're facing. Something unresolved. Notice how quickly your mind starts placing orders, wanting this outcome, fearing that one. See if you can watch this happening without judgment. Like watching clouds form and dissolve. Feel any tension in your body around this situation. Your shoulders perhaps, your jaw, your belly. Just notice. These are the places where we hold our conflicting wants. Now imagine setting down the menu. All those different orders, all those conflicting wants. What if you could just set them down for this moment? Not forever. just for now. Feel what happens in your body when you stop ordering. The shoulders might soften. The jaw might release. Something in your chest might open. Rest here. In this space of not knowing what you want, of not needing to want anything, the situation is still there. But you're not placing orders anymore. You're just here, breathing, being held. Notice any peace that arises. Not a peace from getting what you want, but a peace from not needing to want so many things at once. Stay here as long as feels good. When you're ready, take a deeper breath. Feel your body again. Wiggle your fingers or toes. You can return to your day now, perhaps carrying a little of this spaciousness with you. The situations will still be there, but maybe you'll notice when you start placing impossible orders, and maybe, in that noticing, you'll smile. We're glad you practiced with us today. If it's helpful, a free digital copy of A Course in Miracles is available via the link in the description. You're also welcome to leave a short comment like, "I am grateful. Thank you for spending this time together." Remember, you don't have to untangle all your conflicting desires or figure out what you really want. Sometimes just seeing that we're placing impossible orders is enough to create a little space, a little ease. Be gentle with yourself as you move through your day. The next time you notice that familiar tension of wanting too many things at once, you might just smile at the recognition.